Okay, so hey everyone, and I hope you guys are doing well. It is here in Sydney, really nice Friday evening. So for those that can actually celebrate TGIF, if on the other hand you are for example a filmmaker or work on the weekend, well, yeah, good luck. But all is not lost. Hopefully you'll be able to still join for a really nice chat. And thanks for anybody that comes and decides to join me for chill discussion on Top Gun Maverick. So yeah, I guess I should start by saying if you do like what I've been producing, please don't feel shy. Like, share, subscribe to my channel because I appreciate every one of you guys. All 150 subscribers now. So yay, small gains. So thank you. Feel free to comment because I love an open discussion. And yeah, so I did watch Top Gun Maverick a couple of days ago, and I thought, why not just chat about it? I do have the trailer on standby just to help me, dispense my thoughts. And yeah, it was interesting because, I guess I'm one of those few people that actually, I mean, I have heard of Top Gun. I've heard of Top Gun, and the various memes and quotes from that movie. If I suppose most people would, particularly if you are interested in the movie business, that kind of comes with the territory to know all this. Really need it for speed, all the songs and stuff, introductions. So yeah, it's one of the movies that has gained a lot of notoriety, and it came out in 1986, so nearly 35 years ago, actually. So yeah, so I wasn't really. I suppose maybe many other people the same, but they said they weren't expecting actually a sequel to this, and maybe they were worried. Maybe they were a bit apprehensive about the notion of a sequel happening 35 years down the track. I can certainly understand that because sequels on their own are already hit and miss, and now for a movie to come out, Top Gun, of that to come out 35 years later, well, does it hold up to the original, especially when times have changed and there are different sensibilities when it comes to there are different sensibilities, point blank. And you know what, I suppose, to cut a long story short, although obviously I'll be a little going on many tangents as I normally do. To cut a long story short, I actually did enjoy it, given, I mean, particularly considering the fact that I haven't actually seen the first movie in all its entirety. So I was kind of curious to see whether or not it was necessary to have seen the first movie to enjoy the second one, and surprisingly it doesn't. So despite the fact that it does, the movie does, touch on some things that happen in the first movie, you get filled in very quickly, and you kind of still get the gist of what's going on. And although with that said, obviously I have a feeling that if you do have seen the first movie, you'll probably enjoy the second one more so, probably just enhance the process. So yeah, it is on my mind to actually go back and to actually watch it. So yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And let me just get back into the actual Top Gun Maverick. Let's see if I can find it. So let's see, where is it? I'll just type it in. There we go. I think this will be it. Let me just double check. There we go. So yeah, I mean, considering that I have very little knowledge of the first movie and sort of knowledge of the actual, Air Force, particularly the United States Air Force, I have to say I'm very surprised of how much I actually enjoyed this movie, given all of that, because I thought I didn't expect to go in this movie not like thinking it was bad. I actually hadn't seen the trailer, so this is one of the few times I I'm going in blind, to be honest. But yeah, considering how I was expecting this movie, I think, to be very, very niche, and to be geared to people that very well versed in, well, for starters, the actual first Top Gun movie, and then the U.S. Navy and Air Force. But even then, you kind of don't. You kind of don't really need it. All you have to do, I mean, at least for me, you guys can feel free to disagree on this, of course. You kind of just go into the quickly that this is top no Navy air people, and they're the best at flying these really high sophisticated planes at very, very top speed. So I do know what like Mach 1, Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3 up to Mach 10 is. Although yeah, it is cool to see how Tom Cruise's character, who's sidekick, codename I guess. I'm not gonna nickname, let's just go with nickname, Maverick, it still got it. So I am glad that they kind of go along the old dog still has his tricks and is still relevant, particularly when he's training the recruits. It could have gone in many, many different ways, how it was like showing how he needs to update with the times and learn what the new kids have to offer. But the thing that I like about this is, even when particularly when the new recruits, I guess, need to be trained, and they all come in with their own very strong personalities and differences. I guess one of the good things about this story, one of the things, is that they need to learn how to work together very quickly, because when you're facing a common enemy, you don't have the luxury of letting the small, potentially petty bullshit get between you. It's just you're gonna die. You're gonna die if you let stupid politics and all that personal grievances get to you. So I think that was a really cool lesson that they showcased here. And yeah, it is interesting. I mean, maybe it's a bit late, but I am going to be divulging into spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled and you haven't seen this movie yet, I do suggest you watch the movie first, and then I'll wait here. Well, no, I will be waiting for 2 hours, but you can come back, and then you can listen to the rest of my divulgences and rantings. But it is pretty cool to see how the story connects now to the movie, the first movie. So one of these is this character. I think his code name is Brewster. So he's the son of one of the main characters in the first movie who passed away, and now he kind of has it in for Maverick, because he pretty much feels, well, for one, feels that he's responsible for his dad's death. And also, he pulled his paper, so he kind of just tried to stop him from entering Top Gun. He has, his character has his reasons. He just, reasons, spoiler alert, the reasons being that, his mum, after seeing her husband, killed, didn't want the son to go through the same thing. So it was out of her respect and promises to her. He didn't want to tell that to her because, as he explains, having grievances to one person is enough. There's no need to have conflicting feelings to your mother or people. So I understand that. So yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, I was also surprised to see Val Kilmer. I think, and again, I guess I can. Yeah, let me just Google check, because when I first saw him, I kind of thought that the actor Val Kilmer looked familiar, and I wasn't quite sure why. But I'm pretty sure he was Batman, among other things, among many other things. But let me just double check, just in case just in case I make a mistake. So yeah, but he was very. Val Kilmer. Top Gun was probably one of his more famous movies. And also Willow. Batman Forever. So I was right. So 1995 version. So I think that he was a movie with Nicole Kidman. And well, he's been in a lot of things. Prince of Egypt. Yeah, so it's good to see him again. Although he doesn't really have he's not in the movie for very, very long. Spoiler alert, I guess. So yeah, it's good to see, there's a lot of heartwarming moments in this movie. And a lot of cool shots too. Like, if you like, speedy airplanes, you definitely love this movie. And yeah, but I guess it was cool to see what they mission. And yeah, when they outlined the mission and the stakes, I was actually pretty invested. So long story short, again, they need to infiltrate a base with the enemy. And if you want to know more about the enemy, well, alas, you're never going to know more about the enemy because the enemy is just the enemy. Maybe that's for the best because, they don't want to bring any, real life politics. There's enough. There's enough without actually naming names, I suppose. So the enemy is building a uranium base, so they kind of, that's not going to happen. So they kind of have to destroy it, but they need to, have very sophisticated flight strategy to destroy it because it's in the middle of a mountain. And, the actual base is very protected. So they have to be able to know how to fly in almost 9 G-forces, which is pretty big. 9 times the force of gravity. You weigh a ton. I mean, I've never. Yeah, I'm sure that most air pilots can tell you that that's no easy task. So there's a strong training process to suss out who can actually do it. And I think my only little tiny gripe about this movie is that I think the tension and build up to the actual mission I felt like was more intense than the actual mission when they did it. It felt like for some reason that was a lot easier, that they were able to achieve a lot easier than what we were led to believe. But again, minor grievance, and you don't get to think about that too much because they get spoiler again. They get chased by the enemy. Enemy edifies with with their own sophisticated plane technology, and spoiler. Yeah, and yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's a very nostalgic movie. And yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. So my favorite character, if I'm gonna go for favorite characters, I would have to say Maverick is my favorite character just because he's probably just as got the same personality as he does in the first movie. Someone that kind of bends the rules because they know that's what's good for everybody else. And I guess at the very least, if you're gonna talk the talk, you can walk the walk. So if you're gonna say a lot of stuff, at least be able to back it up, which he does. So he's able to teach, for example, teach all the kids a lesson and be able to fly the plane in 10 G force with 10 G force, which is definitely no easy task. So yeah. So I mean, I suppose it's not very common or often that you watch a movie and you kind of end up liking all the characters, and there isn't that one guy that pisses you off. That didn't happen. So whoever wrote this did a great job. I mean, even this guy who was kind of he was very arrogant. He kind of has his own little redemption. And yeah, I think one of the reasons why that happens is even when they start off having a little bit of tension, once they know what the mission is and they know that there's a high risk of them dying if they make a mistake, they kind of just say, okay, we're going to put our own personal differences aside and just focus on get me out of this mission alive. I guess that's a lesson that all of us can take, to be honest. So yeah. So I'm glad this movie was made, and that is not something a sequel 35 years after the first movie I thought I would say. And I think considering that I saw this and before this Everything Everywhere All at Once, and what was the first one, Northman, I'm glad that this movie was made. So yeah. Yeah. Just give me a second. Okay, so yeah, so I think this has been, honestly, 2022 has been a good year. for films, for stuff that I actually enjoyed on the level that I was not expecting to enjoy. So yeah, I mean, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think. Are you looking? I mean, what does the movie compare to the first one? Do you have a preference? So yeah, I definitely, my plan is to definitely watch the first one very soon, so I can, so I can compare and see whether or not I enjoyed which one I enjoyed more. Maybe I have a feeling I'll probably enjoy them all the same. So yeah, although this. I think one of the things is that they managed to keep, despite the movie, being updated, they still, I think, kept the very much the 80s vibe, which is good. Because I think the intention was to actually, give it to the fans that enjoyed the first movie. And on that note, I think they succeeded. So you know what? Great job, Tom Cruise. I am curious to see, what stuff you coming up next. And yeah, I don't know whether or not they'll be making a Top Gun 3. Last I checked, this movie made around 400, I think it was 400 million. So yeah, it's one of the toppest, I think one of the highest, grossing movies this year. So there's a good chance that you might see more of this. We'll see if that strikes 3 times, I suppose. So yeah, if they do end up making a third one, well, I'd be at at the very least willing to watch the trailer and give it a chance. So yeah, this 2022 is a movie. Is a year for interesting movies, I suppose. So yeah, I guess I will leave it at that. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Are there any people? No, any comments? Anyone out there? No, that's okay. It's always nice to just have a relaxing night, just to chill, and just give all your thoughts anyway. So again, thanks for listening. Be sure to check out the rest of my channel for other cool reactions, reviews of movies and content, and I'll see you next time.